This ingredient is in a ton of protein bars, but is it safe? Let's find out. What even is polydextrose? To be honest, when I first read this in the ingredients in this Quest bar, I was a little freaked out. This is part of my new series where we break down the ingredients in each of your protein bars. And first up is the Quest bar. The goal here to figure out if these ingredients are actually bad for you or if we're all just freaking out because the internet told us to. So what is polydextrose? It is a synthetic fiber, which means it's made in a lab. It's created by heating up 3 ingredients together. The first of which is glucose, which is the type of sugar that our body uses for energy. Glucose is in things like fruit, bread, even milk. The second ingredient is sorbitol, and you can think of this as sugar's chill cousin. So it's not as sweet and it has fewer calories. It naturally occurs in things like apples or pears. And the cool part of this is scientists can actually make sorbitol in a lab so that it's chemically identifiable to what's found in fruits. The third is citric acid, which you've definitely heard of before. It's what gives lemons and gummies that sour taste. It is naturally occurring in citrus fruits, but a lot of what appears in our packaged foods is also lab made. You mix all of those up and boom, you get polydextrose, a man-made fiber that doesn't taste like much. So why is this stuff in our protein bars? First, it's cheap, it adds bulk, and it lets companies brag about all the fiber in their bars. Let's look at some of the pros and cons based off of some research articles. Some of the upsides of polydextrose. It can act as a prebiotic, meaning it feeds your gut good bacteria. There was one study that I looked at that gave polydextrose to baby pigs, which I had no idea. Apparently their stomachs are similar to that of humans, but the conclusion from that article was that the pigs had better digestion and more good gut bacteria after being given polydextrose. So scientists saw this as a sign that polydextrose can potentially be good for your gut health. In another study with mice, they were given a Western diet, aka junk food, and polydextrose. And 14 days after that, they actually had lower cholesterol and triglycerides. And that's the fatty stuff in your blood that in high amounts can cause health problems. So polydextrose helped clean things up, at least for the mice. And the third study that I looked at was actually a human study. This research found that when people ate polydextrose as a mid-morning snack, they actually ended up eating less at lunch. So the conclusion from this was polydextrose might in the short term curb your appetite. And now for some cons. Obviously, some of the research that I spoke about here are both short-term and not done on humans. And personally, I used to eat Quest bars actually almost every day, but I had some major digestive issues when I did that. So I'm kind of thinking if you have an overall healthy diet that includes fiber, that 13 grams of fiber coming from polydextrose might make you feel bloated or gassy. I will also say there are a ton of articles on polydextrose. These are the ones that I found to be interesting, but let me know in the comments if you have any more that you've read about. Okay, so should you worry about this particular ingredient? And conclusion is, it seems like it's not something to really worry about, and it actually might be beneficial for our gut health. But at the same time, it's not the same as getting your fiber from something like veggies or oats. And if your tummy just says nah, then definitely listen to that. Next up in the ingredient series, probably one of the most controversial sweeteners, sucralose. Subscribe if you want the breakdown. My goal here is to not fearmonger, kind of sift through all of the BS, look at the facts, look at the research so that we can make good decisions for our bodies. So I will see you next time.